Hey, it's me, Polly. I know I haven't been on here in a long time, months, but I have been stuck with, I've just had a hard time getting space on my phone again to shoot, so, like, when I can't think clearly, then I suffer because I can't get things organized enough and cleaned up enough to communicate. And then lately, like the last week and then last month, about the same time, I was doing better. I've been doing better, so I was able to get that done and get on here, and it's been so sorry. It's been a long time. So, and it's been better in some ways. It's still been really difficult. I think I told everybody that, like 3 months ago or so, DHS, which is our Department of Human Services, called me and decided that they were going to take away the help that they had been offering me, because they said I was violating the rules, or actually the word she used was not using it as intended, but that wasn't true. There had never been any rules. There'd never been even one rule for me. This place called Senior Helpers has been helping me, and DHS pays them to help me come in and, mostly clean, help me with my house, because I'm so disorganized, unstructured in my thinking, that has always been a problem for me. And so they would come help me, and that was good, because then they would help me get it to a good point, and then I could kind of maintain it, and they would come a couple times a week, and it would never really get that bad then. And I basically, on my own, the place turns into looking like a hoarder house. Not that I bring stuff into it, it's just getting the stuff that's in the house dealt with and sorted out and thrown away, and it just all goes to without help. And I've always had that problem. I just don't have the mind of a person organized enough to keep things clean. I've never been able to do that. Never. So they were helping with that. They were also taking me to doctor's appointments and to get my medication, and then suddenly the rules changed. I had never been told of the rules. They just changed, and one problem I have is I have a lot of pop cans. Like, I drink a lot of pop, and I've switched from sugared pop to diet pop. I switched maybe a little over a year ago, so I just drink diet pop now. But it's still sort of my vice that I have to have it. And so I have a lot of pop cans around that I don't get picked up for a long time, because I just am not attuned to my environment. To me, they're not there. They just become a part of my environment, like anything else that I'm really messing with, or touching, or holding, or carrying, or whatever. And the woman at Senior Helpers made this not innocuous comment one time. I had mentioned, she and this woman named Mindy from DHS had asked me about, physical, like, illnesses or whatever, And I said, well, I do have diabetes. And she looked at all these pop cans around, and she said, then why are you drinking so much pop? You know, really maliciously, really, you know, like snarky, you know, snarky. And I said, well, if you look at them, you'll see that they're all diet. There's no sugar in it. And she didn't have a comment for that. Obviously she couldn't say anything after that, but she kept bringing up the pop cans, you know. It's like bugs her to no end that I have pop cans sitting around, and she can't let that alone. I mean, that bugs her so much that, you know, one day, set that aside, one day, this woman showed up with a cop at my, well, actually at my window, because my window faces the street, and I happened to be in my room, and the cop was just an escort for her, and she was visiting from DHS, and this was a different part of DHS. This was actually an APS worker, Adult Protective Services worker, who somebody had called on my behalf, and I still have no idea who. But somebody called and told her that I wasn't doing well, and that there were some issues that APS needed to look into, which was 100% true. And so I told her that, and this was, you know, this had just happened, that I had been approved for, well, I mean, I had previously been approved for 12 hours of services help from DHS, and but senior helpers, the woman had only scheduled 3, so I had gone 8 days without any human contact at all. 8 days, no human contact, nobody coming over to help me, nobody checking on my medications. And I was really struggling at that point. And so I contacted the senior helpers person, and I'm like, why did nobody come over? I mean, I'm approved for 12 hours a week, and I got 3. That's all you scheduled for me. And so this, when this APS woman came over, I told her about that. And immediately after that, you know, like immediately as in that very week, I finally got a call from this other DHS woman who was responsible for the hours that I got, telling me that she was going to withdraw the help that they were offering me. And and she gave all these reasons. Well, first of all, she said she had some concerns because it had been reported to her that I had not been following the rules, and that it wasn't fun for workers to have to come to my house and clean up pop cans and dog poop, because I have a dog who is on a she can't stand that either, but I have a dog who is trained to potty pads, and none of my workers had to clean that up. I mean, I never asked them to do it. Well, actually, that's not totally true. I did ask the last one, the one I still have, but I asked her to help me with it, when I was not doing as well, and she had already picked it up before once for me, and we're kind of like friends too, so it was kind of a different thing. But the other 2, which were people, they were just workers, that's it, and I never asked them to, ever, and they didn't, but the pop cans, as soon as, you know, Mindy mentioned pop cans, and then started saying, and they're taking you places, and they're not allowed to take you any place, and you're only allowed to have grocery shopping, they're only allowed to shop for groceries for you for 10 minutes. which wouldn't even be enough time to get through the line at the grocery store after you've already gathered everything. But certainly not enough to buy groceries. And that was not a rule that had ever been told to me, ever. And it's not a rule that any other person, my helper, had ever had applied. It was never applied to anybody else, just me. And same thing with this rule. They're only supposed to clean for 14 minutes. And I'm thinking, well, why were they scheduled for 2 hours at a time then? If you only want them to clean for 14, if they're only allowed to. I mean, these were rules that were never told to me, and then I was accused of violating them, and then my hours were taken away, and then I started to fall back into disarray, and I started doing worse, and I was stuck by myself with no, companionship. Again, my mom picked up 4 hours a week. That's what she paid. 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours a week is what she pays for. And that's it. So I have 4 hours of human contact a week, 1 day a week. And I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm not okay. I just, I don't know. I do not know how to meet anybody here that would ever be somebody. I don't know. I guess that's it. So I got just another time on top of all the other times that the rules were altered just for me, and it seems to be because they're not going to let me get away with whatever it is they think I'm trying to get away with. It's punishment. It's plain and simple. That's all it is. More punishment.